It had been years since he touched that door. He tells it with a hint of what is to come. Rain dripped through the ceiling. The hallway pulsed with flickering light. The room smelled like dust and time. Under the bed, a rusted tin box. Inside, an old NES and a cartridge with no label. Only 2 words scratched in ink. Pixelated Playground. The screen lit up. No music, no title, just a pixel park. Too familiar. Then red words appeared, flickering like a wound. Then red words appeared, flickering like a wound. Welcome back, Mason. He stopped breathing. The game knew the yellow slide, the broken clock. This was his childhood. Faceless kids wandered the screen, and there, in the distance, a yellow cap. Someone was waiting. Evan didn't move the joystick. The avatar walked on its own, toward a bridge swallowed by mist. The sound twisted into static, and deep within it, something laughed. Outside the game, the same bridge appeared, covered in moss, rotten wood. Evan stared, breath held. On screen, the pixel boy turned and smiled at him. The woods were waiting, but Evan stopped. The sound of a bicycle screeched through a shattered memory. Blood, mud, a child calling his name, a mother's voice in the distance. Don't mention it. Evan trembled, but entered the woods. The yellow hat lurked behind the leaves in the forest of small, mishapen trees, as if waiting. Evan gasped, cold sweat soaking his collar. It was the same old room, still just him in front of the bright screen. Inside, a child sat huddled among the glitches. The room lights went out. Evan pulled the cord, but the TV screen was still on. Then, laughter filled the air. The game reset. Evan's memories. A familiar door appeared. Mason's door. The small room was painted blue. The light flickered. Mason sat drawing. Half his face was gone. Pixels floated like ashes. He uses pitch to convey emotional changes. Evan blinked. The TV showed Mason's face crossed out in black ink that looked like blood. The room darkened, and then, from the hallway, a child's voice rang out. Evan turned his head to the sound. His body was motionless, eyes wide open, hands clenched so tight they bled, lips whispering softly, soundlessly. Evan remembered the day he ran away, leaving Mason crying in the mud of the wooden bridge, and the distant call, not because he hated him, because he was afraid. Back to reality, Evan yanked the tape out of the machine, sparks flying, the screen screaming. Mason rushed out into the glitch and light. Evan backed away, but this time he didn't run. The real memories that Evan buried deep, they were just kids sharing the same breath on the bridge. The accident happened just because of fear, not on purpose. Evan walked slowly but firmly towards Mason. In the past, he was just a child, but now, he was mature enough to face. There was only a light mist where Mason waited by the old bridge. Evan moved closer, and this time they crossed together. Mason said his official goodbye to Evan after all these years of waiting. Evan woke up on a cold floor surrounded by a crayon drawing. Two children holding hands, faded but still there. Not every game needs to be won. Just like there are memories, only when faced will they truly end. That night, I witnessed horror wearing a familiar face. It was a pouring night. I thought it would just be another ordinary night shift. Max was on the night shift with me. I felt relieved I wouldn't be alone tonight. As we worked, I noticed how obsessed Max was with order. Every item had to be absolutely perfect in his eyes. The store was eerily quiet. Max kept cleaning as if nothing was more important than that task. I tossed out a few questions to break the silence, but Max's answers were cold and empty. There was a distance between us I couldn't quite name. Suddenly, a soda can fell, shattering the quiet. Max froze, his gaze locked on that small mess as if time stopped. Max put the can back, readjusting it again and again until it was perfectly aligned. I could hear him whispering something, counting, or maybe praying. He mumbled about perfection, as if even a fallen can was a sin. A chill ran through me at the extremity of his obsession. Midnight, I looked up from my phone to see Max standing silent in the dark aisle, whispering something I couldn't make out. I gently tapped his shoulder, and Max spun around, wild-eyed. For a split second, he collected himself quickly, but I couldn't shake the feeling that I'd interrupted something. Suddenly, the power went out. I was engulfed in darkness and the roar of the rain. In a flash of lightning, I saw Max standing there, eerily calm. The lights flickered back, and Max was suddenly right behind me. My heart nearly leapt out of my chest. He just stared and gave me a faint, empty smile. I quietly asked if he was okay. Max only replied, "Everything will be perfect soon." His words hung in the air, cold and unsettling. It was past midnight, with not a soul around. I just wanted the shift to end. We started opening a new stock box. I fumbled with the cutter, feeling Max's stare boring into me. I tried to finish quickly. I didn't want this to last any longer. Max grabbed the knife, and I heard a sharp hiss of pain. The blade had sliced into his hand, blood dripping onto the floor. I lunged forward to grab his hand. Panicking, Max just stared at the blood, and in his eyes, something indescribably frightening flickered. Max's calm shattered. He glared at me and hissed that I had ruined everything. In that moment, I truly felt afraid. Max picked up the knife. Blood dripped onto its gleaming blade. I backed away, realizing with a cold dread the danger in his stare. I stammered apologies and tried to calm him, but it was useless. He just muttered insane words about imperfections needing to be eliminated. A furious scream tore through the air, and I bolted on instinct, heart pounding. I sprinted through the aisles, desperately searching for a way out. I held my breath, cowering behind the shelf. His dragging footsteps and that eerie whispering sound. He was counting, each odd number sending ice through my veins. I tossed a can toward the corner of the store. The noise distracted him for a moment. As Max rushed toward it, I crept toward the exit. The door was locked tight. In desperation, I grabbed the fire extinguisher and squeezed the trigger. A spray of white foam hit Max's face, drawing a howl. As he staggered, I swung the metal cylinder with all my might, smashing him hard against the door. He wasn't finished. We grappled desperately, crashing into shelves, everything shattering around us. With the last of my strength, I grabbed a piece of broken glass and held it up. Max collapsed. The store was a wreck, now fallen into an eerie silence. I knelt on the floor, body aching and mind numb. I stumbled out into the rain, feeling like everything was unreal. Though I escaped that horrific night, those mad whispers will haunt me forever.